guys, it's Lynn. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review on Confess by Colleen Hoover. If you've been on my channel for a while, you would know that I actually don't do spoiler-free reviews. I usually do book talks where I give a spoiler-free beginning and then the rest is all spoilery stuff. But recently, I love filming book reviews, book talks, whatever you want to call them. I love filming them so much and I love uploading them for you guys. But a full-on book talk, in my opinion, for me, it takes a while to gather like my thoughts together and like organize them, and then to film it and then to edit it. Like that takes a long process. Book talks are usually the longest videos for me to edit. Like it takes the longest time for me. So since I do want to give you guys more book reviews, I decided to do some spoiler-free ones. That doesn't mean I'll stop doing my book talks, because I do love my book talks, so I'm going to keep those up. But for other books I want to review, but I don't really want to do a full book talk for it, I just want to review it, I will be doing a spoiler-free review. If you're worried my book talks are gone, I will still be continuing my book talks, especially on series that I've already started doing full book talks on. I will continue those series with full book talks. So anyways, now on the actual review. Colleen Hoover is a very much beloved author in the booktube community, even though she actually, this isn't like a YA book, all her books are new adult. But Colleen Hoover is loved so much in the booktube community, and I never picked up a Colleen Hoover book ever. I just had this on my shelf for like almost over a year now, and I finally decided to pick it up because I've been feeling, you know, like I want some nice romance, because you know me, I love my romance, but I've been kind of feeling a real romance for a while, so I picked this up, and I did keep my expectations high, and I know I shouldn't do that, but I did that, and let me say, I loved this book. I gave it a 79%, and that kind of does sound a bit bad. Like if I loved this book, you would have thought I gave it like an 80-something or a 90-something. But I'm giving it a 79%, and I will talk about that in a second. First, let me tell you guys what this book is about. This book has dual perspectives. The first perspective is of Auburn, who is one of our main characters, and Owen, who is another main character. Auburn has just moved to Texas and she doesn't really know anybody. She's walking down the street and she needs a new job. She already has a job, but she needs another one because she needs more money. So she's walking down the street and she sees a sign at the art studio that says "Help Wanted." She goes in and she meets the art studio's owner, whose name is Owen. He runs this art studio, he's the artist, and every month he opens up the art studio and showcases his paintings. This art studio isn't like a normal art studio. It is a very dark art studio. The reason I'm saying dark is because Owen gets his painting ideas through confessions. On the outside of his studio, he has a little confession box where people can just write confessions and drop them in, and he based his paintings off those. Auburn gets the job, and one thing leads to another, and they start liking each other, and we get Owen's perspective as well, so we do see things from his eyes, and he knows Auburn, but we don't know how he knows Auburn, and he in some way knows her, and he doesn't really want to tell her why, and he has a whole bunch of dark secrets actually about him that he's scared to tell her because he's worried it will ruin their relationship. Auburn as well has some secrets that she's not telling Owen that she's afraid will also ruin their relationship. So they both have secrets that they're not telling each other, which are really, you know, bringing down their relationship, and because of that, some stuff does happen, and, you know, it gets very dramatic, and that's all I'm going to say for the plot of this book, because I do not want to give too much away because I don't want to spoil it. This would actually be the time in my book talk where I would say bye non-spoilery people, but we're not doing that this time because it's a spoiler-free review. So first I'm going to just talk about overall for a bit, like the whole book overall. The reason why I gave it a 79% was because I really did like the book. I loved Colleen's style of writing. I loved how much it sucked me into the story. Like with these, I don't know, it was so weird. Like the writing was so good. As soon as I picked up the book and read it, I just got sucked in. Like the storyline is very, very unique. I like the whole like artist studio confession thing. I think that's really, really cool, and it just sucks you in. But the reason why I gave it a 79% was because I do not like Owen and Audrey. And what I mean by that is I don't like them as a couple. This is because I do not like Owen. He's just, in my opinion, really creepy and just weird, and in my opinion, it sort of comes off really stalker-ish, and I don't like that. It really just rubs me the wrong way, and because of that, that's what brought, you know, the grade down, and it did bring it down quite a few percents because this is a romance novel and the relationship is a huge part of the book, and considering I don't like the relationship, that did bring the grade down a lot. So I really did like the book. It was just that one part that really just brought it down a bit for me. There were a couple things I also didn't like. As I said, I really did love the writing, but I did find it a bit predictable, the story. Like, you would know certain things were gonna happen, like you would kind of see it coming, but there were times where you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming at all. So it was basically kind of just the end where I saw it coming. Like, you know, I just knew that was how it was going to end, but there were parts in the middle that you were like, oh, you know, I didn't know this was going to happen. The only other thing that really brought it down a bit more, because if these two things weren't there, I probably would have gave it a bit of a higher grade. But the other problem I had was some of the things were a bit anticlimactic. So as I said, Auburn and Owen, both of them have these secrets, and at some point we do find out what those secrets are, but the way we find out are a bit anticlimactic. So you're like, oh my god, okay, I'm ready to find out what these secrets are. I am so ready right now. But then you find out and you're just like, oh, that just happened. Yeah, it's almost like it never happened. This was actually for more on Owen's part, because Auburn, I found her very interesting, but Owen was where most of the anticlimactic shiz happened. Like, it was just there. He was basically the problem. I could be just hating on Owen a lot right now because I don't like him. He just really creeps me out. While I was reading about him, I was just like, Auburn, why do you like him? Like, he's just, oh, he makes me cringe, honestly. I just don't know why. I just get this wrong vibe off him. You know, when you meet someone and you just like, oh, I just don't like them? That's how I feel about Owen. I feel like all the characters are super realistic, which is something that you don't really come across a lot in YA unless you're reading contemporary. There are a few YA books where the characters are really realistic, because a lot of the times they have supernatural powers and they have, you know, special things going on in their life. I think this, because this was a new adult romance book, it was like more realistic, especially the characters, which I really did enjoy. Auburn was my favorite. We don't have a lot of characters in this book, actually. We don't get introduced to a lot. There's only like 4 characters that we see a lot of, and that's it. But Owen, he's just, okay, this is not a spoiler because we find this out like at the beginning of the book, like the very beginning, that Owen knows Audrey somehow. And you know, the really weird thing about this is because he doesn't tell her he knows her, okay? He's just like, in his head, when we're reading from his perspective, he's like, oh, I know her. Should I say something? No, I'm not going to say something. And so then he does these things that, you know, for some reason Auburn doesn't catch on. He's just really, really shady, and I don't like him. I just don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't know what she sees in him. He's just creepy and weird, and he honestly makes me cringe. Their relationship overall, I just... No, ew, yeah, no. It's just, these noises coming out of me are really weird, but those noises explain, like, literally explain their relationship. It's just not good, and this is the reason why I brought the grade of the book down so much to a 79%, because I just didn't like them. It's not Auburn, it's Owen. Owen's just, I can't explain to you how much. Every time I'd read from Owen's perspective, I'm like, oh, we're in Owen's head. Yay, we're going to have some creepy thoughts right now. And his thoughts just make you uncomfortable. Like, have you ever felt uncomfortable? I don't know. I've never felt truly uncomfortable when reading out of someone's perspective. But Owen just makes me feel truly uncomfortable. I don't know why Auburn likes being around him, but it's just... I don't know why. I just really want to have a conversation with Auburn right now and be like, he's a creepy guy, you should stay away from him. I also did really like a lot of the topics that were in this story. There were a lot of family topics, which I didn't expect, but I really like. I'm not going to go too much into them just because I don't want to spoil what these family topics are, especially because a lot of them are actually family issues, and I don't really want to go into that because if I do, it will spoil the book for you. It did like revolve around a lot of family issues that I think you don't see a lot in YA, but you do see in this book, which I did really enjoy. I think it added just a bit more drama to the story, and being me, I like drama. Like, even in my real life, I like dramatic situations. Like, if there's no drama, it's just so boring. Like, drama is amazing. The last thing I want to talk about are the confessions, which actually aren't the biggest part of the story. I thought there would be more confessions in the story, but it wasn't the biggest part in the story. And when I was like a quarter of the book through, I looked at the, the dedication part when an author dedicates a book to someone. I read it. It's actually not dedicated to anyone specifically, but I'm just going to read it to you right now. Confessions you read within this novel are true confessions, submitted anonymously by readers. This book is dedicated to all of you who found the courage to share them. And when I was reading this, before I read that dedication, there were some confessions that were really, 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 really dark and sad. And I read this, and I literally had to put the book down for a second and just stop everything because I had to think about what I just read. Like some of the, especially like when you're about this much into the book, you do get to read a lot of confessions because Owen's introducing Auburn to his studio and he's showing the paintings that are based off certain confessions, and you read these confessions and you're just so sad. And the fact that these are real confessions, I think, is the darkest part of the story. Like, some of them are actually really disturbing, and like, I don't have words to explain. Like, when I read them, I was so upset. Like, they just make you so upset, and it's not that I didn't want to continue reading, but I really just needed a break because I remember I read one that was really, really dark and disturbing, and then when I read the dedication, I was like, oh my god, that's true. And I just couldn't take it because I can't believe that actually happened to someone. That is the end of my spoiler-free review on Confess by Colleen Hoover. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is, of course, my first spoiler-free review. Comment down below if you liked these reviews. This was by far easier to film and get my thoughts together because I do see, like, in my book talks, I'm sort of when I have to organize my points like on paper and like put them all together in the order I want to say them in the video, I am a bit like, oh, I don't know what to put here and what to put here. But in this video, I found I was more organized, and I really did like that. And I feel like if I keep making these spoiler-free reviews, I'll be able to put more reviews out for you guys, which reviews are something that I really do enjoy making, and I do want to put a lot more out for you guys. Comment down below if you've read any Colleen Hoover books and which one are your favorites, because I know a lot of people on BookTube, they're like, once you read Colleen Hoover, all you want to read is Colleen Hoover. And at first I didn't believe that, and then now I really do want to read more Colleen Hoover. I did recently just buy another Colleen Hoover book, which I'm not going to tell you because you're going to have to wait till my next book call to see it, which will be coming very soon. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye!